Hello there. Welcome to Economics Info. Still on the paper on June 2023. We are still looking at the paper that was recently written in June, and this is question two. Uh, Question two, we are going to start on the first part of the question, that is 2.1. And the first part of the question is saying name two structures of the market. And this question is looking for market structures that we have. And remember, we have different market structures that we can have. But basically, a market structure would want to know what exactly is the structure of the market. So here, it's very important to take note of the meaning of a market structure. So a market structure is an economic environment where a business operates. So this economic environment differ depending on the setup of the market. So the different market structures that we have got a monopolistic market structure, we have got a perfect market competition market structure, we have got a monopoly, and also we have got an oligopoly. So basically we have got four different types of market structures that we have. And these market structures differ from one to the other depending on the elements. So the elements determine which market structure we are looking at. For example, we are talking about the number of sellers. They differ from one market structure to the other. For example, when you are looking at a monopoly, you've got only one firm that is selling products in that market structure. And if you look at monopolistic, you've got many firms that are selling. And if you look at perfect market competition, also you've got many firms. Then the oligopoly is characterized by a few firms that are operating in that market structure. So there are different elements that we look at that differentiate one market structure to the other. We've got also nature of product also is used as an element to differentiate which market structure we are looking at. We also have the issue of entry and exit. Are there barriers to entry in that market structure, or there are no barriers to entry, or even barriers to exit that is getting out of those market structures? And then also you have got another element that we consider is control over price. How does the firm control the issue of setting price in that market structure? Also differentiates. For example, in a monopoly can set its own price. So it is a price maker, which is different from a firm that is operating under monopolistic competition market structure. That firm does not have any power to set a price, so they are price takers. So basically, on the first part, we are looking at the question is asking on two structures of the market. So you are just going to pick one of those. So if you come here, we've got a list of those market structures that we want to look at. So you can just pick one of them. So 2.1, we have all the market structures are listed, but the question is only asking for two. We have got perfect market competition. This is the perfect competition. And then we've got the monopolistic market structure, monopoly, oligopoly. So any two of these can be correct. So that is what we have on the first part of the question. Then we go to the second part of the question. On the question, we have got compare any characteristics of a perfect market with that of a monopoly. Right. In this part of the question, we are going to compare a perfect market and a monopoly. And remember, we said there are elements that are differentiating these market structures. So we will look at elements from one element to the other and try to see what difference do we have between the perfect market and the monopoly. But basically, we say the monopoly is only one firm that is operating in that market structure. And then a perfect market, we've got many firms that are operating under that market structure. And also the difference also can come in the form of the nature of the product that is being sold in that market structure. In a monopoly, we have got a unique product that is being sold, being one product that is only being sold. But under perfect market, we have got also one which is homogeneous product, meaning it's a similar product that's being sold by those many firms that are there. For example, the foreign exchange market for foreign currency also describes a perfect market competition market structure. So if you go to our answer section, we'll see that there's a differentiation that is being there put across there in terms of the elements that describe market structures. For example, for the first one, we've got number of sellers. We are seeing that in a perfect competition, we have got many sellers. which is different from a monopoly where you've got only one seller. And then the nature of product, in a perfect perfect competition market structure, which is the perfect market, we have homogeneous product, meaning it's the same product, similar product that is being sold there. But in a monopoly, it's a product that is unique, that cannot be sold by any firm in that market structure. So it becomes a unique product. Then we go to the next element. We are talking about the entry and exit. So here, basically, we are talking about the issue of barriers to entry, freedom to entry. Is it easy to enter in that market structure or not? So you see that in the perfect market competition, there's freedom of entry. Any firm that wants to operate can penetrate in a perfect market competition. That's why you see in the long run, we are going to have competition in that market structure, and firms will be earning some abnormal profits in the short run. But in the long run now, as firms since there are no barriers to entry, there's freedom to entry, you are going to see many firms that are entering that market structure, and in the long run, there will be many firms operating that market structure. So that abnormal profit is going to be reduced to normal profits as they are sharing now customers. Now, right? If you go to monopoly, you see that there's the issue of barriers to entry, or we can say blocked entry. Just because of the nature of that market structure. We've got one firm that is operating, and we are saying it's a unique product, very different to penetrate that market structure. And also we see that any firm that wants to penetrate in that market structure can be outplayed by the monopoly, that one firm that is operating there. It can use some strategies so that it scares away any firm that wants to penetrate in that market structure. So that's the issue in terms of entry and exit. Then we also have control over price. In the perfect competition market structure, we are seeing that many firms are there, and since we have many firms, it means every firm has got a small portion, supplies a very small portion in that market structure. So that element makes it impossible for that firm to set its own price. But the prices are determined by the forces of supply and demand. So we are seeing the price mechanism there determining the prices that are being made in that market structure. So firms in perfect market competition become price takers. Then we go to monopoly. A monopoly is only the one firm that is operating, so it can set its own price. Remember, the monopoly is the one that is supplying the whole market. So it's a 100% proportion in terms of supply of the product. So it has 100% power to set its own price. So that's the scenario that you have in control of price. Then we have the issue of collusion. Collusion basically is the joining together of firms to limit competition between themselves. So you see that that aspect of joining together is not there in a perfect competition, and we don't see it again in a monopoly. Only have one market structure that has that characteristic, that is an oligopoly. That's where we are going to see collusion taking place. So that's what we have on 2.2. We can move on to the next question, which is 2.3. Let's go and see on the question part. 2.3, we are given a table, and then we are given price, we are given quantity demanded, we are given quantity supplied. And the first question is saying use the given table to draw a demand and supply graph. So when drawing this graph, remember the demand curve and the supply curve are represented by straight lines. But basically, we know that if it's a demand curve, it will be negatively sloped, which means it is of nature. Its shape will be like this. This represents a demand curve, negatively sloped. The negative slope represents that there's an inverse relationship that is there between two variables, that is price and quantity demanded. If you increase price, we are going to see quantity demanded going down. If you reduce price, you're going to see quantity demanded going up. So that's the shape of the demand curve that we have, being a straight line. And also for supply, it goes the opposite direction. It goes the opposite direction. So this is our supply showing a positive slope. And also it portrays a positive relationship between the two variables. Remember, on the vertical axis, we are going to see the prices, and then on the horizontal axis, we see quantity. Here is quantity, then here you put price. Of course, this is going to be our original point. And then For supply, we are saying we have got a positive relationship between these two variables, that is price on the vertical axis and quantity on the horizontal axis. If price increases, quantity supplied will also increase. So that's the scenario that we have. So when drawing this graph, just take note of 2 points and join those 2 points to form a straight line. For example, we can just take the equilibrium point. That's the one that is easier, since we have got the demand and supply. Remember, we are going to have an equilibrium point where we are going to have quantity demanded equal to quantity supplied. So at this point, this is the equilibrium point. Here, it represents a point where the quantity supplied is equal to quantity demanded. So you can just pick that point for, if you want to draw a demand curve, and at that point, on the demand, we have got the quantity demanded being 300 and the price is 150. So it means here we'll be having 150 and the quantity will be here representing 300. So you can set that point as one of the points, and then you can choose any point that you can choose there for demand. For example, when the quantity demanded is 400, we have got price being 100. So it means here price will be below, because this is 150, price will be just below this, and then you connect with where we have got our quantity being 400, which will be somewhere here, where we are going to have 400. Then when you set those points, you join them with a straight line to form the demand curve. The same thing you do to supply. You take one point, which is the equilibrium point, then you take any point of supply. For example, you can take 400. When the quantity supplied is 400, the price will be 200. So you also set that point and then join the point with a straight line to form a straight line, and then obviously we are going to have a typical supply and demand intersecting at that equilibrium point. So if you come here at our answer section, you come here now, you see that that's the same way this curve was constructed, whereby we have got our vertical axis and our horizontal axis, and we've got our quantity ranging from 100, then we go to 200, 300, 400, and 500. And then our vertical axis is representing price. So you see that our prices according to the table, they are ranging from 50 to 250. Then you can just add that to up to 300 there. Then we just make those points, you join them in the set line. You also make the point for supply, you join them in the set line. And obviously, they should intersect when quantity is 300 and price is 150 to show that is the equilibrium. Remember, at the equilibrium point, the quantity supplied is going to be equal to the quantity demanded. So this is the scenario that we have in terms of that demand and supply. And then we try to look at the next question that is there. The next question is saying, what is the equilibrium price? This is very simple now. You see that I was saying the equilibrium price, we see it when the quantity supplied is equal to the quantity demanded. So if you come to our table, you see that here, that's when the quantity demanded is 300 and also the quantity supplied is 300. So that's the equilibrium point, and the equilibrium price is here. So that makes 150 the equilibrium price. So equilibrium price is 150. Then equilibrium quantity is the one that is 300. Also with 300 demanded, then 300 being supplied. So we also have 300 here. Here's our equilibrium quantity. Then if you go to the next question, the next question is saying, how does movement along a demand curve differ from shifting on a demand curve? Right. This question is asking us how does movement along the demand curve differ from shifting of the demand curve? So we are going to see that we have got our graph, our sketch of a graph here, and we have got the demand curve is negative slope like this. This is our demand curve. So movement along the demand curve is we are moving on the demand curve like from point A to B on the demand curve. That is movement on the demand curve. Then when we have a shift, it's either we have got a movement upwards or downwards. For example, if it's upwards, it's going this direction, and we've got a new demand curve that is here, maybe it's D1. And we might also have a downward if demand has decreased here to what, to D2. So that's the scenario that is there. So the question is asking us, why do we have a movement along and why do we have a shift? So a movement along the demand curve without the demand curve shifting, that is a movement from A to B, is represented by a change in only one factor, and that factor is price. Whenever price changes, it causes a movement along the demand curve, and we call it change in quantity demanded. Then all other factors that is not price. If you talk of a change in level of income of consumers, we are going to see demand either shifting upwards or downwards. For example, if income increases, it means that demand is going to increase. So you're going to notice a shift of the demand from T to T1. So that is the explanation that is summarized there on the answer section. Let's go and try to see what the our explanation is saying. If you come here, we have got 2.4 is the one that we are looking for. It's saying a movement along a demand curve occurs when price changes, which is true, and quantity demanded increases or decreases on the same demand curve. It doesn't move, it doesn't shift, it remains stationary, but we are not seeing a movement along the demand curve. The next sentence is saying it either moves up or down, which is correct. Then shifting on demand curve occurs when consumers need a product which will cause a decrease or increase in demand that can lead to two curves shifting. So when there is now a shifting of the demand curve, two curves shifting either left or right of the original curve. So the left or right is the upwards or downwards that I was trying to explain there. So that's what we have on 2.4. Then we go to the next question. That is 2.5, I guess there. Right. If you go to 2.5, let's try to see what we have on 2.5. Right. 2.5 is saying 2.5 is saying discuss factors that influence the elasticity of demand. The elasticity of demand. So basically, elasticity of demand is the responsiveness of demand due to a change of a variable. We have a different elasticity of demand that we can have. For example, we can have the price elasticity. We can have the price elasticity of demand. And also we can have the income elasticity of demand. And we can also have cross elasticity of demand represented by XED. Right. So basically, we are saying when we are talking about elasticity of demand, we are talking about any of these variables, which is price or income. We are talking about how does it change the quantity demanded. If price changes, to what extent does it cause a proportionate change in quantity demanded? So that's the issue on elasticity of demand. How demand is being stretched by a change of a certain variable that explains elasticity of demand. So this question is asking us factors that influence the elasticity of demand. We've got many factors that are going to affect the elasticity of demand. For example, we are going to see that the level of habit forming a product is. For example, we're talking about alcohol, they are addictive products. If we put those certain products, it means they are addictive. Customers are going to consume them. No matter what level of income they are earning, they are forced to consume because they are addicted to those products, addictive products. So we are going to see that even if income changes, it's not going to change the demand to a large extent. So it becomes inelastic. So we are going to explain these factors from the context of being elastic and being inelastic. So when elasticity of demand is elastic, we are saying the quantity demanded is going to change with a huge change due to just a small change of a certain variable. So when it is inelastic, we are saying it's going to change with a very small proportion when there's a change of a certain variable. So that's the issue. So let's go and look at the factors that we have in terms of that explanation. Right? If you come here, you see that. Let's try to see those factors that are listed here. Right. We have got the first one is availability of substitutes also can affect elasticity of demand. And the explanation is saying if people have an alternative product, the demand for that product becomes elastic, which is true, because if there are alternative products, it means people can easily shift and buy another product. For example, if the price of the product increases and there are substitutes, people will just change and go and buy to another product which is cheap. And so we would see that the elasticity will be elastic. So that's the issue. But if there are no close substitutes, people are forced to buy that product even if the price increases. So you're going to see an inelastic elasticity there. So that's what we have in availability of substitutes. Then we go to a budget of consumers, and the explanation is saying consumers' budget can increase or decrease the demand for a product. So you see that if the consumers reduce their budgets, it means they are going to be sensitive in terms of buying a certain product because their budget is low, which is different from when their budget is high. It means even if we have got an increase of prices of those products, people are going to buy because they have got a high budget, they are able to buy, the ability to buy is there. So it will become inelastic. So that's what we have in terms of budget of consumers. Then we've got nature of product. On nature of product, we have got normal goods. So a normal good basically is a good that obeys the law of demand. And the law of demand explains an inverse relationship that is there between price and quantity demanded. That is, if you increase price, quantity demanded will go down. So the law of demand explains normal goods. So you see that there are other products that are not normal for like inferior goods. Inferior goods, we are saying even if income is increased, we are going to see even a decrease in the consumption of those products. Those are inferior products. And then also you have got superior products. They come as one of the products that are not normal, which even if the prices are increased, we are going to see that they don't obey the law of demand. Even if the price increase, people will actually buy those products. For example, the jewelry are examples of superior. And then the explanation on nature of products saying normal goods sometimes can be replaced by inferior goods, while the price of necessity is inelastic. Right. Also, you've got necessity products. These are products that people cannot live without. They are necessities. So even if we are going to have a low income, we are going to buy them. Even if price increase of those necessities, you buy them because you cannot live without those products. So the elasticity will be inelastic. So that's what we have in terms of nature of product. Then we've got habit forming products. I was explaining this one. If a product is causing a habit like alcohol, the demand for that product becomes inelastic because of addiction. A person who's addicted will be forced to buy that product, even if the person has low income or even the price of that product is increased. The person will buy just because the person is addicted. We have an example of cigarettes. Even if the price is increased, smokers will buy cigarettes because they need the cigarette to just because of the addiction. So that's what we have on habit forming product. We've got also size of the household also can affect the elasticity. If the number of members of the household increases, that will increase the demand. So that's what we have. And then we have other factors that we have there. That is the influence of time and durability and uniqueness of a product also can affect the elasticity. So that's what we have on 2.5. Then we go to the next question and try to see what the next question is saying. That is on 2.6 now. If you go to 2.6, it's saying state the law of supply. So the law of supply comes as a reverse of the law of demand. On law of demand, we said there's an inverse relationship between two variables, that is price and quantity. On law of supply, we are going to see a positive relationship that is there. When we say a positive relationship, we are saying, remember, we are saying there are two variables that are there, that is price and quantity. So here with quantity supplied. So on the law of supply, we are saying if you increase price, quantity supplied will also increase. That's a positive relationship that is there. So that's what explains the law of supplies. Then we go to our answer section to see what the explanation we have there is saying on the law of supply. The law of supply on 2.6 is saying if the price is low, the quantity supplied will be low also. So they are moving in the same direction, indicating a positive relationship between the two variables. Then our next sentence is saying if the price is high, the quantity supplied will be high. So that is what is there in terms of the law of supply. Then we are going to look at the last question. Last question is saying explain how oligopolies compete to win their market share. Remember, oligopolies is one of the market structures that we are talking about. In oligopoly, we said we described by a few firms that are operating in that market structure, and they embark in non-price competition to win market share. Non-price competition meaning they compete not by adjusting the level of prices of their products, but by other means. For example, they compete through advertising, etc. So let's look at the explanation that we have there in terms of the oligopolies, how they compete. So if you look there, the explanation is saying oligopolies use non-price competition to win their market share due to fear of price wars. So basically, non-price competition, we are saying it's competition that is not incorporating the issue of price adjustments. It's a competition outside price level adjustments. And we gave an example of advertising as one of the examples. So next sentence is saying they use methods like advertising, brand loyalty, after sales services, extended shopping hours, free delivery, etc. So that's how oligopolies can compete without using price. So that's what we have, guys, on number 2 on the 1st of June 2023. Stay tuned for more videos as we prepare for exams. Those who haven't subscribed, please subscribe and share. With that, I'm out.